Baby Doge Army, do not let this pullback fool you at all. We're going to talk today about why you shouldn't let this pullback fool you and why we're probably going to have another increase in the crypto market coming pretty soon. But, anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of these financial advice, but we're going to go straight over this. Now, as you can see here, Baby Doge has been pulling back recently, and we actually just now got rejected all the way up here at this resistance. That was way back there in October, and then we got rejected again before we could even hit that resistance, right? And look, the top of that, the candlestick truly got all the way up to here for like a split second at 1550, 8Z 1550 for a split second. And then you can see here, it couldn't even get above 8Z 1420, right? We couldn't even get above that level. So that's pretty important here. It's pretty important to look at that, because if we got rejected at that Fibonacci and now we're going down to the next Fibonacci and now we're getting, rejected at that next one as well, that's a pretty important metric for you to watch out for and pay attention to, because if we keep getting rejected and we keep setting lower highs, then this is definitely showing that Baby Doge is just on the downtrend. And it's not that bad that we're on a downtrend. The next place where we're for us to get rejected to will probably be this resistance here, 8Z 1286, and the next one will probably be us going down below that, hitting the next support line here, 8Z 1140, and then going back up here at 8Z 1220, because that'll be our next resistance once we go down another level. But we keep going down with these levels here, and eventually, you see this red line here. This is part of the Chart Prime automated indicators. Link in the description for that if you want to sign up for that. But yeah, as this goes down and down and down, it's going to eventually meet us at the bottom of that momentum wave band. That's why I say don't let this pullback fool you, because eventually when we get back here to this momentum wave band, this is going to give us the opportunity to build that momentum back up. That's why they call it the momentum wave band, because this is where momentum is built up. This is where more people are going to buy, because it's a buying opportunity. It's a discount. So yeah, as we pull back, once we get back to that next Fibonacci down here, that's when we're probably going to end up having our recovery here inside of Baby Doge. So we've been having the pullback all along, but our recovery can come easily once we pull back down to that Fibonacci where our momentum wave band is. So that's really what we're waiting for. And typically after we hit the top, I always mention this, after we hit the top of the momentum wave band, we typically head towards our previous supports. So we've hit it up here. Now we're heading back down here to the next Fibonacci, because we already hit this one. Now from here we can go ahead and we can hit the next Fibonacci all the way to here at the bottom. But yeah, we're working our way down to the bottom there, so then we can build that momentum at the momentum wave band. But like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. Just don't let any of this stuff fool you. Like, don't let the pullbacks fool you. Like, we are inside of our bull market now. Obviously, we can pull back harder than this. Like I mentioned before, there's always that possibility that we pull back to the bottom of the momentum wave band, which brings us to that Fibonacci at 8Z 1017, or we pull back to the top of the momentum wave band, which brings us to the Fibonacci of 8Z 1130. So we have 8Z 1017 that we're possibly going down to, or 8Z 1130. Either way, we're going to go back down to one of those levels, and then we're going to have another increase from there. So we're either going to hit this level and then go up from here, or we're going to hit this level and then go up from here, or we're going to hit these levels and trade sideways for a little bit, and then going into the next year we can have our next rise and rally. But like I said, none of this is financial advice, and not a financial advisor at all. But looking at Bitcoin though, we've done the same thing here on Bitcoin. We've actually hit our momentum wave bands here, and we've hit them 3 times, 3 whole times. And it seems like Bitcoin is still on that rise here, because if you look at this here with Bitcoin and you really draw this out, you can see it's technically still on the uptrend. Bitcoin is no longer on that uptrend once we go below this 35.8K level here. Once we go below that and head back towards our Fibonacci down here at 32.6K, or our momentum wave band at 33.9K, once we go back down to there, that's when we're going to start seeing Bitcoin being on that downtrend. But for now, this is still up. This is still uptrend. This is still upward momentum here. Now, we do have an area here on our Fibonacci that we're going to eventually go down to, right? And it's right in the middle of our momentum wave band. And then we also have our chart prime indicators showing us right here at this area. This is where our next support line is pretty much going to be created at. And you can see here, we keep breaking down below. Like, we just keep breaking down these levels here. You can see these lightly shaded green lines here. These are part of the chart prime indicators. So these are pretty much showing where our next support lines are pretty much going to be. Where are we going to pull back to next? That's what these are pretty much showing. And it's pretty accurate. You can see here when it pulls back here, it actually hits that line and then it increases from there. Pulls back, hits the line, increases from there. Pulls back here, hits that line, increases from there. Does it again, hits that line, increases from there. Pulls back, hits the line down here, increases, pulls back, comes back to another line, increases up there. So I think the next thing for Baby Doge to do is go back down to this line. Since we already hit the technical indicators there for chart prime, when we hit it this time, it's probably going to end up triggering us to go down a little bit lower. And that's probably when we're going to get closer down to our Fibonacci, down at 33.9K or 34K. So we're going to be getting closer to 34K when that happens. And then when you also look at the indicators here for stocks, our Stoch RSI, which is a stock plugin, you can see we've actually crossed at the top of the RSI, and now we're going back downwards. So whenever we cross at the top of the RSI here and then go downwards, we have the selling and prices here. We have the decrease in price. And you see the same thing here. We're crossing at the top of the RSI, and now you're going to start seeing that decrease in price since we've crossed the top of our RSI, unless you see the RSI increasing from here. So sometimes we have that where it's a false positive, right? Or a false negative. It'll start dropping and then it'll stop right in the middle and then it'll increase. It'll look something like this. It'll be dropping here and then it'll cross and then it'll go back up. So what I'm saying here is when the RSI, starts dropping here, it crosses and goes back up. What we're seeing here is we're starting to cross and drop, but we have to wait a little bit longer to know whether or not we're going to go back up. Because if you look at the RSI, doesn't it look like it tried to cross, but now it's continuing to drop? That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like it started to cross, but now it's continuing to drop because that cross just was not strong enough to keep it going down. So it looks like we're going to continue to go down here inside of the Bitcoin prices. So I'm expecting 34K soon coming here inside of Bitcoin. Like I said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor at all. But let's move on from this, from the technicals, because the technicals are important. But Baby Doge has been doing, fairly well. It's been doing fairly decent. Like I said, don't let these pullbacks fool you. They're just temporary pullbacks. I believe going into next year, we'll be having our next bull market. So, just give it some time. I still believe the pullback is coming in. This time we're going to be going back down to like 32K, or 34K. But yeah, prepare for that. Anyways, right now we're at 1.2 million in 24-hour trading volume for Baby Doge, so decent there, down 7% in the last 7 days. Not too bad, only 4% in the last 14 days. So that's the real percentage right there. And if you really want to be completely honest, the last 30 days we're up 19%, so we're still doing good. And then in the last year, still doing good, up 9.3%. So that's doing well as well. And as for our holders, now at 1,780,149 holders. 2 weeks ago, we had 1,777,000. So we had about 3,000 holders inside of 2 weeks. So yeah, every single 2 weeks, we're getting 3,000 holders every single 2 weeks. So that's pretty good. We have a winner here also for our Baby Doge Maxi contest with the Baby Doge on the luggage, right? So that's pretty cool as well. And as for Baby Doge Swap, it's still doing its thing, still struggling along here. 2.8K Baby Doge bear in the last 24 hours, 200K inside of volume for Baby Doge Swap, 2.78 million in liquidity. And as for all the farms, we still need those core farms back for Baby Doge Swap so we can earn Baby Doge with our core farms. Those were the best. Those were the best times. But yeah, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But yeah, definitely check out Chart Prime. Link will be in the description for Chart Prime. Definitely check it out. Best trading view indicators out there in the game. So definitely check that out. Very, very good indicators. And as always, I'll be back with another video.